In November's episode of Seek Out the Arts, we are exploring Evelyn de Morgan's The Garden of Opportunity. We're also listening to one of my favorite Mozart pieces in an incredible performance, and reading a Thanksgiving poem by Lucy Maud Montgomery. I hope you'll join us. Hello everyone, Jennifer here, and welcome back to the Daily Connoisseur. And happy Thanksgiving! I'm posting this video on Thanksgiving Day, and I just want to say that I am so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for you for watching my videos and for being a part of this channel. I'd also like to thank the Chic Society private members group because they bring us this series, Seek Out the Arts. In Chic Society channel memberships, I do one vodcast every Friday and we go live and do a Zoom call once a month. We also have an optional pen pal program where over 1,000 of you are writing to each other all across the world. It's pretty amazing. Membership is only $1.99 a month, but we also have upper tiers. You're seeing them here. They get a mention in a video once a month. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share the top tier members, the Elegant Connoisseurs. So make sure you stick around until the end. Okay, let's start off with this month's painting that we are going to be exploring, and this was a request by Denise Hill, and she recommended Evelyn de Morgan's The Garden of Opportunity. I love when you make requests, by the way, for Seek Out the Arts, so if there's something you want to see on this series, leave it in the comments down below. The Garden of Opportunity is an oil painting painted in 1892 by Evelyn de Morgan, and she lived from 1855 to 1919. It depicts a garden filled with symbolic objects and characters. So, you know I love symbology, I love gardens, so let's get into this one. Right in the middle of the painting, we see two students, and they are both facing a certain way with their backs turned to another way. These students are in richly decorated clothing, and they have turned their backs on learning and wisdom. So the woman behind them, she represents learning and wisdom. And let's see what the woman in front of them represents. I'm largely going off of Google Arts and Culture's interpretation of this painting, which is a really amazing website, by the way. So these two students are in the Garden of Opportunity. Will they be tempted by the easy riches offered by folly and choose a path which leads only to death and the devil? Or will they turn back to the path of goodness, wisdom, and learning to use their talents for the good of all? This is the main question at the crux of this painting. So let's have a look at some of the symbols here. Wisdom is portrayed as the woman behind them. She looks like she's in despair. How do we know that she is wisdom? Well, there is an owl that's carved into the armrest, and owls are the symbol of wisdom. Next to the owl is a book, another symbol of learning. In the background, behind wisdom, is a church. So in the medieval times, this was where learning occurred, but it's also, symbolic of God and what he wants for us. I always think of in the Bible, Solomon prayed for wisdom, and that's one of the best prayers we can have for ourselves, is to pray for wisdom and guidance. The mill and the water wheel behind the bench represent the riches of the earth, harvested for the benefit of humanity. And then of course there's also a tree bearing fruit, which is also a symbol of knowledge. Now the students have their backs turned on all of this, so let's see what they're facing here. What are they so interested in? The students are turned toward folly, who entices them with a silver ball in one hand. So what is going on with that ball? It's like a glittery, shiny object, and that brings to mind all that glitters is not gold. So if you look closely at the ball though, you do see a skull in the ball, but it's turned away from them. So I do believe personally that this represents glittery, shiny objects that seem like, oh, I want that. Maybe it's riches and wealth without knowledge. But truly what is behind it, if she turns it around, it's death. Now in her other hand is a branch of henbane. This is a narcotic, poisonous plant. It also looks like something pretty innocent as well, but you look a bit closer and that is not what it is. The castle behind her looks really grand and luxurious, and this is a symbol maybe of wealth and all the riches that they could possibly have. If you look closely On the stairway leading to the Palace of Folly, there's a devil there peeking out. And it's hard to see him, but you can spot him in his wings and tail. It's quite creepy. It's like these little dangers or red flags maybe are hidden along the way, only to those who are perceptive. If you notice behind the Lady Folly, the landscape is totally dry and barren. Nothing is growing there. And also, this is something I noticed right away. Folly and Wisdom look almost exactly alike. The women look the same. They have the same eye color, same hair, same skin color, so they can easily be mistaken for each other if not carefully discerned. Now, it looks like the students care about these things. Their clothing is lined in fur, which is a bit of a status symbol at the time. Their clothing is also in rich, saturated colors, which shows that they care about these things. At the bottom of the painting, you see a peaceful white dove. Doves represent peace. There's flowers behind them, but it's facing head on a snarling black lion. And I'm not entirely sure of what that means, but my own interpretation would mean that peace can conquer this. If you step back, if you're peaceful, if you just reflect for a moment and ask for wisdom, then you can perhaps get it and turn the other way. I love this painting. I'm so fascinated with her work, and I'm so inspired to learn more about Evelyn de Morgan. But when you zoom out and you just look at the picture, it just means so much, doesn't it? And haven't we all had these moments in our life where we turned away from wisdom, we turned away from intuition, and we went toward things that weren't necessarily good for us? Maybe they seemed good for us on the surface, but when we looked a little deeper, there were pitfalls, there were red flags. So I really enjoyed the Garden of Opportunity, and I would love to know what you think about it in the comments down below. As for the musical selection for today, I have a piece by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. It is Laudate Dominum, KV 339, and it is performed by Patricia Janečková. She is an incredible soprano. You will immediately recognize this piece, even if you don't recognize the title. And I feel like it's so perfect going into the holiday season. It is just absolute regal and splendor. I feel like if you were in the Garden of Opportunity and you chose Wisdom, this is the piece that would be playing. So I'm leaving this exceptional performance down below. It's definitely worth taking a look. And finally, I wanted to read a poem about gratitude, as it is Thanksgiving Day on the day I'm posting this. And this is very special because it is by one of my favorite authors, Lucy Maud Montgomery, who wrote the Anne of Green Gables series. And she did write poetry as well. So let's read this poem called Gratitude by Lucy Maud Montgomery. I thank thee, friend, for the beautiful thought that in words well chosen thou gavest to me. Deep in the life of my soul it has wrought with its own rare essence to ever imbue me. To gleam like a star over devious ways, to bloom like a flower on the dearest days, better such gift from thee to me than gold of the hills or pearls of the sea. For the luster of jewels and gold may depart, and they have in them no life of the giver. But this gracious gift from thy heart to my heart shall witness to me of thy love forever. Yea, it shall always abide with me as a part of my immortality. For a beautiful thought is a thing divine. So I thank thee, O friend, for this gift of thine. I have so many thoughts on this poem, and whenever I hear immortality in a poem, I immediately think of Emily Dickinson because she put that word in so many of her poems. But also this relates to the Garden of Opportunity, especially this line here. Better such gift from thee to me than gold of the hills or pearls of the sea. So it's like saying to the friend, your gift of friendship, your presence in my life, the wisdom and the love that you bring to me is better than gold and pearls. And doesn't that go so perfectly with the Garden of Opportunity? It's like those are the everlasting things, the things that really make a difference. And then finally, that line, for a beautiful thought is a thing divine. I just love that. I believe it's so true that our thoughts are so powerful, and a beautiful thought often given to us by a dear friend is something divine. I hope that you enjoyed this Thanksgiving episode of Seek Out the Arts, and now I'd like to share the Elegant Connoisseurs with you. They are the top tier members here in the Chic Society. The 90-Day Novel with Alan Watt, beginning January 13th, 2025. Jenny Williams from Carrot Top Paper Shop. The Elegant Eating Handbook, Timeless Strategies for Lasting Weight Loss and a Peaceful Relationship with Food by Elaine Brisebois. Guy Blaise, author of Love Like the French, A Guide to Better Romance and Relationships. Dr. Kate Philbin, transpersonal psychologist and professionally certified life and executive coach. Carrie Van Hooser, author of 'Tis the Season for Poetry. And thank you to the following: Catherine Ray, Anne-Marie Ramsey, Heather Barrera, Jenny Candelaria, Jet Raleigh Heron, Gina K. Henry, Kate Holmes, Kelly Ruel, Linda Eckloff, Maria Condor, Nicole Brignol, and Tina Hugal. Thank you so much for joining me here on Seek Out the Arts. Happy Thanksgiving, and I can't wait to see you for all of the Christmas videos coming up on the channel next week. Take care, everyone, and have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.